Happy New Year, everybody. 2023 is finally here, and I thought that it'd be a good time to kind of do a recap of what I thought was good this year from the sets, my favorite cards that came out, and maybe a little bit summary of how we did in the channel, because we had a really big year. And a lot of it is up to you, thanks to you, so thank you very much. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get into it. And we're back. So, first set of the year to talk about is going to be Kamigawa, Neon Dynasty. I thought it was a fantastically executed set, returned to one of my favorite planes throughout Magic. And I think that they did a really great job in executing it. So some of the favorite things that came out right off the bat is going to have to be the full art land cycle. This is one of the best artworks that I have seen in years, and I thoroughly can't get enough of this style. They're just absolutely beautiful. If you get them in foil, even better. But by hands down, for me, the best full art lands this year. And that's saying something, because the stained glass, the Streets of Nuka Pena, which we'll get, we'll see, talk about when we get to that set, those were stunning as well. But these arts really were fantastic. Next up, for the best part, would be the legendary land cycle from Kamigawa. With, of course, Boseiju being the top card out of that. These are just absolutely fun to play with. Great cards. I love how they connect back to the history that they brought out. And, no, let's fix that lighting there. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, it was just absolutely fantastic cycle of lands that they put in there. I could bring out more. Obviously, I love this set, and there's a lot of other cards. The mechs that are in there, the different tribes, rats, ninjas. I mean, they added samurais. They added a whole bunch of things that complement the original sets as well. Champions, betrayers, and saviors. Kamigawa, they absolutely fantastic. If that's giving away a little too much of what my set of the year is going to be, sorry. But I'm definitely leaning toward that. Next set that came out was Streets of Nuka Pena. And I'm going to go right again. The best part of that set, there were some good cards in there, but the best part was the reintroduction of the... I know they're not officially called Triumphs, but of the Triumph-style lands. These lands are fantastic. The original Triumphs were great, especially in Commander. The searchability, connection with the fetch lands, it's just absolutely fantastic. They're great for mana fixing. And the artwork, I'm missing a couple of them in the full art, but the artworks were absolutely fantastic as well. Next, I would sit there and say that the best card that came out of that set was the Ledger Shredder. And you can see, this one's in foil. It's a great card to play with. Really, it's my favorite card out of the set. The other thing, though, we got introduced was to a new type of foiling process, and that would be the gilded foil. Yeah, there you can see it just pops on the edges. It's very subtle, and it was really nice. It was different. It wasn't as much. It still has the Pringling effect, but yeah, the gilded foil was a nice introduction, and I was happy to see that during the set. Now, next up comes to a set that is fairly controversial. It's another D&D set. And the reason for the controversy on this was that we called it Commander Legends. As a standalone complement set to Forgotten Realms, I think it was good. Calling it a sequel to Commander Legends, I didn't agree with it. I didn't think that that was the right way to go about it, and I think they kind of misplayed that one a little bit. That said, there was a lot of good cards that came out of that. One of the things that I was definitely happy to see was the reissuing of the Battle Bond lands. Very good cards. I mean, they all come in the battlefield tapped, unless you have 2 or more opponents. Fantastic for Commander, because you're always going to have more than 2. So, I mean, there's not a lot of one-on-one Commander that goes on in a play group. So, those were a fantastic add-on to the game. So, now, as far as the rest of the set goes, one of the better cards that I think that came out of that would have to be the Archivist of Agma. Now, I butchered that. You know, that's a generic and a white flash. Whenever an opponent searches their library, you gain life and draw a card. So, there's a lot of cards out there that cause you to search, fetch lands, whatever. I mean, absolutely fantastic. And this gives white some advantage that they've been sorely lacking for a while. Not only the life gain, which white has enough of that, but the draw card engine. So, I think that's one of the better cards on it. And then, of course, the main reason that you would be buying this set is because it's for these elusive Elder Dragons. And when I say elusive, that is because they were very difficult to find. As you can see, I only have 3 of them. I do have 2 of the brass, but I still only have 3 of these dragons. And I bought a ton of this set searching for the dragons. Yeah, I'm addicted. I love opening packs. It's fun and all that, but I wasted a lot of money trying to get cards that I want. But then again, I'm not the type that's going to go out and buy the Ancient Copper until the price comes down a little bit more. I'd rather buy more of other cards for that amount, and I'm not really playing it, so I don't do a lot of red, so it's not necessary. But yeah, the dragons were very elusive in that set, and I wish that they had been a little bit easier to get. Not, you know, not every pack having one, but a little bit easier would have been nice. So the next set we move into is going to Dominaria United. And Dominaria is another one of the planes. It's a fan favorite. Going back there. I don't have any of the lands in my hands right now. They introduced the stained glass lands, which for the full arts were absolutely stunning. And they introduced a couple other players again. So here, the big card out of that set would definitely have to be Sheoldred the Apocalypse. And this one is in that stained glass showcase. We also got to bring back a reprint of Liliana of the Veil, which Liliana was in needing a reprint. I'm not exactly thrilled about the art change, but is what it is. And then there were some other cards. The Leyline Binding is a must include, in my opinion, on the nice removal for a 5-color deck. You can basically get that out, paying 1 less for and get out there for 1 white, and that's it. And you take you remove a creature from a game. Another one of my favorite cards in that one would be Greensleeves, the Morrow Sorcerer. Put it in a mono green deck, lands equal to the number of lands for the power and toughness. It's just a great card for that. And then I'm going to only show the green one on this, Defiler of Vigor, which I think is a fantastic card, but I did like the entire Defiler set that came out with this. Really fun cards to throw in there, very synergistic, and overall, yeah, they're really fun to include. Sheldred, would have loved to have gotten a Phyrexian. I'm very lucky to have gotten this one. Again, it wasn't a very common card, although Twiddler just pulled 2 of them in one night, but yeah. Moving on. So the next set that we come to was Brothers War. And before I get to that, there's other sets that came out. The Double Masters 2022. Great set. Lots of reprint value that came out. The price point was just too high for me. I would rather save the money and buy cards I need in the singles, and or buy more sets that I really liked, rather than spending that money for some chance at getting some really big hits. And even at that, the big hits, I'm just going to turn around and flip, unless I'm playing them, which a lot of them I don't need in my decks. So, moving on, we're going to Brothers War. And what Brothers War brought back was the meld mechanic that we haven't seen since Innistrad. And I really liked having that. This one is Mishra's Claimed by Gix, which is my favorite of the melds. There's the top half that turns locks Phyrexia. And then we have the Phyrexian Dragon Engine, which comes to the bottom half. So, and that creates a very big beast. So, yeah, the meld mechanic, I liked it. I liked Gisla and Rana and kind of Brizla. That mechanic was bang. Another fun card that we came out with was Awaken the Woods. A sorcery, X and 2 for 2 green. Create X 1/1 green forest dryad land creature tokens. This is going in my Yorville deck for sure. I mean, that's just sick. And that many force that tap forest creatures, it's just going to get out of hand real quick. Another thing I liked, and again, it's not that I like Teferi all that much. I really don't play a lot of Planeswalkers, but I liked the schematic treatment that they did with these. For the Planeswalkers, I liked the Pain Cycle coming back, the Pain lands. But the big thing I was in for Brothers War was the artifacts in the retro frames. I have been playing a Karn deck for years, Silver Golem, and seeing some of these reprinted. This is not necessarily going to go in that deck, but seeing that, and then the schematic variant of these, it just makes it that much fun. I'm old school Magic, and that was the Karn was the second commander that I put together, and mudding it out is really what I was trying to do with that. And having cards, common staple cards for commanders, in not only the retro foil but a schematic version as well, was just huge. The other thing that Brothers War brought in, and this was slightly controversial, was the introduction to Transformers. Yes, Order that Meets the Eyes. So they brought in Transformers. And it kind of, with the set, it's a lot of big artifact creatures, you know, robots. So it kind of has a connection to it. They transform, they flip over, so it's two-sided. So they have the regular artwork, and then they have the Shattered Glass rendition. Both of which I think are very cool looking. And I'll be building a Soundwave deck. Soundwave was my favorite Transformer. But yeah, I mean, it's just real cool looking artwork. I was not fortunate enough to get a foil, which are big money, but I am happy. These are really cool looking. Prime, I'm sorry that I'm only showing Decepticons. I'm more of a Decepticon kind of fan, so don't take offense to that. Yeah, Brothers War is a good set. I was in it mostly for the retro artifacts, but it's a fun set. I've played a little bit. I can't wait to play a little bit more with it. And yeah, they're really fun. So then now the only thing left that came out was Jumpstart. I mean, there's the Warhammer again, the Double Masters, the Unfinity. The Unfinity, I buy the full art lands for the collection. Beyond that, I've never really played the Unfinity. I'm not really into it. We already talked about Double Masters. And then the Warhammer Commanders, I've got a bunch of Commander decks as is. And the price points on it, I just wasn't all that interested. Maybe if I played Warhammer, I'd be a little more interested in it. It did look interesting as far as some of the cards, and the artwork on the reprints were fantastic, but it was just not necessarily for me to invest in this year. That said, now we come to Jumpstart 2022, which had some really good reprints in it. Rhystic Study, Goldspan Dragon, to name a couple. But again, I don't do a lot of drafting styles personally, so there wasn't a lot, but there was one card that I had to get for my Commander decks, because I've been running a Relentless Rat deck for quite a while, so I had to pick up this Ashcoat Shadow Swarm to include in my deck. Not sure if I'm going to switch him out for the Commander or just put him in the 99, but that was a must-have for this year. And there's definitely happy with that. So, that said, it's been quite the year. And again, my set, personally, Kamigawa, Neon Dynasty, hands down, was the best set of the year. I'm a huge fan of the original Kamigawa, and I felt that this one connected back to that set, but also brought so much more to the game. The original set came out at a time which was rather ambiguous on where Magic was at the time. A lot of people were kind of drifting away from it, so it has kind of a bad perception. Oops, well, let's get that. There we go. He's got to say a little more honor on that one. Come on. There we go. So it connected really well. It was very well thought out. The different archetypes that were set up, and they connected well. The whole thing, just for me, it clicked very well, and it was a set that I was happy to invest in and continue to invest in. I pick up anything I can when it's available at my local game store. So definitely for me, Kamigawa is the big winner. At this point, I want to really just thank the fans, because the channel itself had a really big year. In January of 2022, we hit our 50 subscribers, which at that point was a little bit low. I'd been operating for a year. It was kind of just, discouraging that it took that long to get to 50 subscribers. And I'm still trying to evolve. I mean, I know that I'm rambling, which I'm doing right now in this video. So I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to work on trying some different interactions this year. But yeah, January we hit 50. In March, with the assistance of Twiddler, I really appreciate that, we hit 100 in March. And then we just hit our 200th subscriber in December of this year. So in 1 year, we basically went up 150 subscribers. There's been a lot of support. I appreciate the feedback from everybody, and I'm looking forward to this year. Phyrexia is coming out very soon. I love the Phyrexian format. I'm eager to see what they're going to do with that. I'm going to say that Elish is going to be banned almost instantaneously, but I'm interested to see the rest of the set and how it works together and the upcoming sets. I wish that Wizards would kind of hold back and kind of go back to the roots, where it was 3 sets a year and it was just set out a little bit different. The amount of product that they're pumping out is too much to keep up with. You're completely bombarded with new commanders. I mean, I can't build a commander deck fast enough anymore because there's just too many legendary creatures that oh, that's cool, let's build a deck around that, and then it's just constant. But in the secret layers, I think I've read some statistics on that. It was almost like 1 to 2 secret layers a week have been released for the year, so it's just a lot of product. I love Magic, but it needs to scale back just a little bit so that we can keep up with it and really find the hidden gems that are out there in the sets. I think we've overlooked quite a few things. I know I have. But at any rate, 2023, it's going to be a great year. I appreciate your support. And as always, like, subscribe, and thank you.